Okay. Oh boy. Oh, and the sync is off with the mic monitoring again. Let me just start the music and then I'll fix that. I hate I have to do this every time. Monitor off, monitor and output. Out good. There we go. It's better. Good grief. Alright. Oh, I'm just crack every bone in my neck and I think we're ready to go. I'm a bit late today. Another late night at work. Possibly going to be applying for a new job. A lot of stuff going on. So, you know, life. As life does and whatnot. What a wild thing to discover it is. I don't know how this works in a lot of other places, but in the school district that I work at, apparently it is easier to apply for a job as a janitor than a librarian, which I find interesting. Not that there aren't wild requirements for both. Just the process of applying for the janitor is like, hey, we would like it if you guys would have a bachelor's degree in business for reasons that make little to no sense. Also, we want you to have certain certificates, but we aren't going to tell you what those certificates actually are. We're just going to give you these abbreviations, assuming that these abbreviations are the same across everywhere. You know, from school to school. Despite the fact that is anybody who knows anything about college, even a little bit, would know that that's definitely not true. And yet somehow the only thing they want from you when you apply is like, hey, give us a resume. But, really? Meanwhile, the librarian is like, okay, you need a resume, the cover letter, and the 3 letters of recommendation. Not just 3 recommendations or people, but the full letters of recommendation. It's like, what? For a job that pays less, has fewer hours, and less qualifications. Okay. So confused. Anyway. I honestly don't expect much to come from it either way, but anywho. That was part of what added to a late day yesterday, which led to a late morning this morning, and so on and so forth. Domino effect. Thus, I'm an hour late to the stream, but so it goes. I've been trying to fix my hand positioning on my mouse so that put less pressure on my pinky finger so that it doesn't, because there was a point where my pinky finger started hurting a lot, and I kind of realized that the way I have my hand situated on my mouse kind of leads my pinky finger to just kind of get crushed. So I've been trying to adjust that. For whatever reason, this week my hand has just been going back to the old way, and I don't know why. And I don't want to ruin the work that I've been putting into trying to form a new natural position for my hand, because my hand has just decided to reset to default. Hello, how's it going? Oh. Okay. Go. Okay. Double checking my mouse is sensitive. What? But I didn't hit the wheel yet. Oh, doing all right. A little bit of a late morning, but besides that, it's been going well. I guess, well, yeah, late morning / late afternoon, but for me, working nights, late morning and late afternoon are often the same thing. Sometimes my morning is like early afternoon. Depends on how late I'm at work. Anyway. Had a late start to things, but we're on track, so it's fine. Oh, sorry. I have a somewhat strict auto mod on swearing. Don't remember if that's in my chat rules. I should probably check that. Make sure it is. It's mentioned in there. Should be. I haven't changed my... I had to swear anything in my chat rules a long time ago, and I don't think I changed it much since then. I don't know. Don't remember. Then again, I barely remember most things. I am absolutely going to have all kinds of dementia and whatnot when I get older. I can almost guarantee it with how bad my memory can be. Wait, why do I keep doing that? Force of habit. I just realized that I forgot to check the broken Streamlabs chat box problem from yesterday. I'm sure it's fine. Probably. It's probably fine. I ended up getting very distracted by my weekly commission work for Muna and totally forgot to check Streamlabs to see if I couldn't fix what the crap was going on with the chat box last week. The Muna short that I edited this last week was very editing intensive. There was a lot involved. You know, there's a lot going on in a video when someone like me who really does not like to use nested sequences, just because nested sequences can be a major pain in the butt in terms of getting timing right and whatnot. I know there's a way to fix that so it's not as much of a problem, but that would require me to change this display. So basically I would need to change this to be over here, so the timelines would be over here, and I would need more than one of them so that I could have them all lined up, and then I can just like click and drag stuff into where it needs to be. It's an editing process I've seen a few people use, but it would take some work for me to get used to that visually, because I kind of prefer the look of this. It's less cluttered. I'm not a big fan of a cluttered screen. It's distracting. So I try to keep it as simple as possible, and I also try to keep it in a way where this is as large as possible, because I want to be able to see what I'm editing and how it looks without having to finagle some stuff. Anyway, I used 3 or 4 different nested sequences for that video. So yeah, there was a lot going into it. Just so I could try to fit everything in a way that things aren't clashing with each other. And so that my screen doesn't look like this. Because that's what I otherwise would have needed in order to see everything that I was editing. Just a lot of stuff that could not share a line with other stuff. Everything needed to be on separate lines, and that just caused a lot of issues, including when everything was shrunk down like this. It still needed to be expanded. That says anything. Okay. What in the world? I must have hit the end key by accident. I find it kind of funny that the keyboard has two different deletion keys, backspace and delete. And sometimes they both work the same way. Sometimes they don't. And I've actually found that when it comes to stuff like editing and whatnot, if you want something actually deleted, you have a better chance using the delete key than the backspace key, because sometimes things are programmed in a way where if you hit the backspace key, it will do something other than deleting stuff. So I've gotten into a habit of pretty much only using the delete key for actually deleting things. The problem with that is that unlike the backspace key, which is almost as big as the enter key, the delete key is itty bitty, very tiny. So it is very easy to fat finger it and hit other keys. Namely the insert key and the end key. A little obnoxious, but you get used to it. Oh yeah, there was a big update that dropped for the world of video editing yesterday. For anybody familiar with the YouTube channel Corridor Crew, they're a pretty great channel to go to if you're looking for stuff for specifically filmmaking based kind of stuff. They do a lot of visual effects and whatnot. Stuff that I just can't do because I don't have the hardware for it. But obviously, some of their stuff does delve into the realm of video editing. And yesterday they uploaded a video where they supposedly created a new tool that has been the greatest advancement in keying since, well, green screen became a thing. And based on the video, it looks absolutely amazing. Holy freaking crap. I wish so badly that I could use that tool. It is open source, so I could download and set up and install and set everything up, but I can't use it. Because in its current iteration, they claim that it currently requires 22, almost 23, so about 22.7 gigabytes of VRAM, the RAM used by the graphics card. Yeah, so the one of the only graphics cards that's able to do that would be the 5090 from NVIDIA, which runs at 24 gigabytes of VRAM. I have a 3060. I'm running 8 gigabytes of VRAM. I stand no chance of ever getting that tool to work. My odds are higher that if I were to try to run that tool on my PC would explode. If not just melt. Either explode or implode. One of the two. So it really sucks. It would be so amazing to be able to use that tool. But as it currently stands, the only people who will be able to use it are people with, at a minimum, at a absolute minimum, you would need the highest end gaming PC. Or some of the crazy powerful PCs that, you know, big industries have for these things. So yeah, I don't exactly have $10,000+ to throw at a new computer. At least based on the current listings for prices of pre-builts, that's generally how those top-of-the-line gaming PCs go. And considering how expensive NVIDIA stuff is, the 5090 is currently, what, like, the last I heard, like $2,000+ alone. So in all of my previous calculations of upgrading my PC, I had never thought about going straight to the top. Just because of the price. I've always kind of viewed it, upgrading my PC the same way as I view upgrading my phone. I never go for the newest. Because ultimately the amount of money I would spend wouldn't be worth it if I can get good work out of something older and cheaper. So sucks, but that's life. Still though, it is a very impressive tool that they created, and for anybody that gets into video editing, I would highly recommend watching it, because man, it will open up a whole new world to you if you have the capability of using that tool. It destroys the regular world of green screen. Though I'm sure that if it hasn't happened already, at some point there will be some members of the anti-AI crowd who will see it and be like, "Oh, how dare I destroy this vile sin?" Because, you know, most of the anti-AI people don't know the difference between machine learning and generative AI. So I don't necessarily blame them, because corporations make it nearly impossible for the average person to understand the two. Especially Adobe. They're like, "Hey, check out this new AI tool." It's not AI, it's the same machine learning you've had for decades, just doing something new. And kind of worse, honestly. And by worse, I'm talking about the remove tool in Photoshop, which is an amazing tool, don't get me wrong. The problem is that if you get a little thing wrong, it will do the weirdest crap. So if you're trying to remove a specific part of the image with the remove tool, but you aren't selecting the right layer, what the tool will do is it will look at the image as a whole and be like, okay, here's this random stock image that I think is similar to what you're going for. So you'll be trying to, so say you have this picture of a sunset or something, and there's a bird that's flying by and you want to remove the bird. So you go and try to remove the bird, but you forget to select the right layer. So the tool goes, okay, I see you have a picture of a sunset here. I'm going to give you a picture of the ocean and just place that on top. Just an entire picture of the ocean. Like, what? The ocean in midday. Not even sunset, just remove the sunset part. It's just, here's the ocean in broad daylight. This is not what I wanted. It's an interesting tool. It's very useful. It's just, you got to be careful with using it. But they have that tool, and they will call that AI, and at the same time they'll have the tool in Premiere that extends a video past its end, which is actually generative AI, because it is creating something that doesn't exist based on what existed beforehand. So it will it's supposed I haven't used it because I don't trust it. I just assume that it's not going to work worth a darn because it's Adobe. Most of their new tools are trash. But what it's supposed to do, what it says on the box basically, is that it will look through the video that you're extending. I don't know if it does it for audio, but for the very least for video, it will take that and it will generate new video to continue the scene. So if there's a video of somebody walking down the street, but the video, they're starting on one end of one end of the street, and they're going across the crosswalk to reach the other side of the street. But the video cuts out halfway across the street. So they're in the middle of the road and the video ends. The tool is supposed to take that and extend it so that you have a video of you would have a video of the person walking all the way across the street. I have never used it. I don't know how it works, if it works. I definitely don't know if it would work for VTubers, because most Adobe tools do not work very well with VTubers. And I don't necessarily blame Adobe for that, because the vast majority of Adobe's tools are designed to work for IRL footage. Real people, real places, stuff like that. It is not primarily designed for digital stuff, for VTubers and animation and whatnot. It's not what it's designed for as a primary function. So I don't entirely blame them for those failings. Now, I'm pretty sure I do not have an active text style for Mooney, as I don't think I've done a Mooney video in a little while. I'm trying to look for one that isn't in shadow so I can get the proper color. Apparently that's not gonna happen. She's just always in shadow. Alright, good to know. Okay. Now I should have it ready to go for Tomoe. Should. No guarantees. Yeah, I do. Just double checking that the stream is running properly everywhere. I'm trying to get in the habit of checking that more often. Okay, we're good. Where to go? Right in front of me, I'm just blind. With this being the final, should be the final stream for this editing, I'm thinking next week we can do the editing, do an editing stream where we take this and we try to improve upon it, mess around with it, maybe add some of these things. See how that goes. Maybe see if I can't come up with some other ideas of things to potentially add to these videos other than subtitles, because I do not want to add subtitles. I don't want to do that. For two main reasons. One, it's a pain in the butt, and two, if I actually do manage to find a big 9-to-5 style job, the time I'm going to have to be able to spend on these videos will diminish a lot. So I don't know if I'll be able to do subtitles long term. So I don't want to dare delve into it if I can't guarantee that I will be able to keep doing it. So just don't want to touch that. Right. I got sidetracked, as I always tend to do to myself. I'm always doing this. I am my own worst enemy. Here's a thought. What if I took this one and made it this, and then took this and made it that? Oh no, that's terrible. That's better, but let's try something else. No, I'm not a big fan of that. I think this does match her aesthetic pretty well. Just wish there was a version of the brighter yellow that wasn't in shadow. I could try using... Yeah, I think that'll work. It's a little bit of guesswork in terms of getting the right color for the yellow, but you do what you can. Heavenly might be a little bit easier in terms of getting the primary colors. Making them work might... I don't know. Got brown, yellow, and like gray. It's a simplified way of saying it, but I'm colorblind. I'm not going into complexities on the colors. We want the darkest color we can get here. Or maybe... and maybe not. And this gray is coming out a lot darker than it looks. I guess we could just increase the brightness of it manually. I don't know. It just doesn't seem to work the way I want. Maybe I should do... Let's see... HTML color names. Let's go for... like a silvery gray. It looks lighter than it on the model than it does in the text. So let's try this. We made it actually silver. Is that a little too bright? It might be a little too bright. We could try... there's dark gray. That might work. We're back. I think we're more or less back to where we were before. No, it's still brighter. So it fits closer to the style, but it's still a little bit brighter. I think that's perfect. For whatever reason, I think the eyedropper is just grabbing a color that is much darker than it looks. Maybe that's just me, but... I think that will do. Unless there's more to Heavenly's aesthetic. Yeah, no, that's pretty much the primary aesthetic. We might be able to get a better variety of gray colors out of this, though. Yeah, variety is definitely not wrong, but I think we're kind of just good with what we had. I'm finally saving these styles to the right folder. They're going into the textiles bin where they're supposed to be. Finally doing it correctly. Moyasi's color scheme is pretty straightforward. It's pretty much mostly green. Hey Zal, how's it going? Oh, you're on the YouTube end. Nice. The editing's going well. Is the chat box showing up? I feel like I'm never looking at the at OBS when a thing happens, so I haven't been seeing the chat box. I guess we'll find out. Anyway, see if last week's weird bug comes back to haunt us again. Oh, there we go. This chat box is working. I've got 3 chat boxes up at the same time. Only one of them seems to be working. I don't know what's going on with Streamlabs these days, but they're having a major problem with their chat boxes. There we go. That seems good. Well, if some crazy stuff starts popping up on the stream again, we'll at least try to be ready for it. Alright, that should be good. Listening before you go to bed? Yeah, we're just doing what we do. Oh. Very dark, so try to go with slightly lighter color for the fill. Not a lot of options there, but whatever. And go with darkest color we can find. That, and yeah, that's basically Moyasi in a nutshell right there. That basically got it on the first try. It is a fairly easy aesthetic to get, because it's mostly just different hues and shades of green and brown. Mostly green, I think. it cut into this. That clip is a bit too short, so we need to lock these layers and do that. I think Tane should also be fairly straightforward. Red, black, and either go with the blonde or the purple in the accessories. There's a darker red in this lower section and a brighter red up here. See which one we go with. I think we can get a solid one out of using these over here, just because they don't have the shiny and shadows to them, so it's easier to get a solid color. Let's go with this red to start. Then black here. We'll start with blonde, and then we'll see. Yeah, I'm not a fan. What if we switched some of these? Whoops. Better. But this, we're going... There we go. Much better. No, it's too dark. Yeah, I think that captures the aesthetic pretty well. Let's try the brighter red real quick. Well, I don't think it's bad, but it doesn't stand out as much visually. I like the darker red better. Okay. Oh, right. This is the switching models to the chicken on this one. Let's move to a clip where we get... Yeah, this one has the full model. This is actually perfect. We get the exact aesthetic. There's a full color palette right there. It's largely red and white. We'll probably end up using this color, this gray color there as the central stroke. So red, that's really dark. Maybe a little lighter red. Really dark. Holy crap. I'm not liking where that's going. So let's switch this. Ooh, okay. This is not going well as well as I thought it would. All right. Okay, yeah, that's better. That's why I love chibi models. The colors are a bit more simplistic, so it makes it a lot easier to grab the color you want. Let's try this on another background. I don't think it's bad, but let's just try this lighter red here real quick. This one fits better with the aesthetic. This one's a little easier for me to see. I'll go with the aesthetic one. There's a chance that we'll end up changing things. When we do the next editing stream, when messing with this stuff, maybe adding some backgrounds and whatnot, that'll just kind of make it all easier and make more sense. So just, who knows? Who knows? For now, the primary purpose is matching the aesthetic of the Vtuber, so... Alright. Did I forget to... I did actually have an idea for a video to make for the edits channel. You know, the one that's currently the VOD channel for these editing streams. That's live right now. Covering the subtitle process I use, because I did one a while back for class for college. I started making a few random editing related videos on that channel because of that class, and figure, hey, you know what, why not make some more. I've since made improvements on my subtitle making process, so why not? Hey, okay, there we go. I was so confused, it didn't copy the whole thing. just got a notification that my new t-shirt just got delivered. I've been doing this thing where every month I'll buy a new shirt because my wardrobe situation is so bad that I've been wearing I've had the same shirts for like a decade plus, and they're good shirts. I have nothing against them. I'm a very simple t-shirt and jeans kind of guy. The problem is the shirts are so old now that they are wearing quite thin and full of holes. Well, Amazon let me know that my package arrived. You know what the funniest thing with me watching Moyasi streams? Moyasi's existence as a VTuber is like one of the greatest case examples of my color blindness in a good way. Because green is the one cone in my eye that isn't busted. So while I can't exactly tell the difference between greens and browns, I'm actually able to separate and differentiate the different colors in Moyasi's whole aesthetic. Which I would not be able to readily do for a VTuber who was, say, like all red. I would not. I would see likely just a big blotch of red. As the red cones in my eyes are really messed up, like 75% or so. It's bad. The blue are a bit better. They're about 25%. So a VTuber that was all blue, I would have it would be a little trickier, but it would be somewhat similar to green, where I'd be able to separate most of the colors probably, but I definitely would not be able to tell you if they were blue or purple. Also, I appreciate that Moyasi is one of those people who uses actual green rather than the nonsense of green that is yellow. I hate that so much. It's not green. It annoys the crap out of me. Especially since it's in like all of the like official stuff. Like you go to Windows and Photoshop and whatnot, it's like, you want green? Here's green. It's like, no, that is yellow. That is yellowish green. That is not green. Stupid. Oops. All right. How are we only an hour and 30 minutes in? Oh. Meanwhile, we've finished almost everything. My fingers are a bit sore. I've had my fingers on the same keys for over an hour, so yeah, they're a bit stiff. Oh hey, we haven't, as far as I can tell, we haven't been having the same crazy glitch as last time. Where we had the chat box from YouTube popping up over and over and over and over and over again. We would just repeat everything that had ever been typed in YouTube every like 30 seconds or something. It would just pop up again. We don't seem to be having that problem this time. Unless it's just in a different chat box. I don't know. You know you have issues with chat boxes breaking on you when you have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 different chat box sources on OBS. I have had so many problems with chat boxes. Oh man. I just keep making new ones because one will inevitably end up breaking. So then I'll make a new one, and the new one will work just fine, even if it has the exact same source and settings as the previous one. And then later that one will break, and the old one is still broken. So I'll have to make a third one, and then it kept going until now I'm at 6. I need to organize that someday. And when I say someday, I mean it'll probably never happen. Because I'll just forget for eternity. So it's just how my brain works. I just want to point out that this is like a prime example of what I was talking about last week with VTubers constantly changing their models and whatnot. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's another one in here somewhere. 5 different models. Where were we? Although Mooney doesn't seem to change her general aesthetic and color palette much with the different models, so it doesn't really go along with the point I was making about that topic, but eh. What in the world is going on? Whatever, I'll just worry about that later. Oh, all right. That's that. Oh. Oh. You know, I had a thought of an idea we could try for next week, along with the messing with the captions a bit. I was thinking maybe we could try something where we take a clip from take a small bit from one of the clips in these videos, and we use that as the transition instead of doing, you know, this thing. Instead of that, we'll just have like that clip pass through. So, say for example, we decide to take something from.
Only unmuted in Discord, so you just sounded insane for 5 seconds.
Oh no!
It's a mic peak. Let's not grab that.
You son of a bitch! How dare you? I'm doing an intro for the Raiders. You ruined it. You ruined
The
it.
best part.
You ruined
The
it.
best part.
So, say we take something like this. How would I make this? I might not be able to make that work. Yeah, now that I've actually tried to put it together, I might not be able to make it work, because what that would mean is it would require me to have extra time at the end and beginning of each clip, which I do not have. Because a lot of these just end abruptly. It's just a clip ends, done. And I don't think I would be able to trim off enough time for each clip to do this method. So I guess it was a fun idea, but I do not think it'll work now that we've actually taken a look at it. Oh well. But I'll just keep racking my brain over the next week. See if I can't come up with any other things we could try to mess around with to improve these videos a little bit here and there. But for now, I think that is where we will leave things off. Let's see who we want to raid. And I rarely ever, if ever, stream at the same time as Muna. I do a lot of editing for Muna, so we'll raid Muna. All right, well, as I'm setting this up, thank you everybody that came by. I appreciate it as always. Hope y'all had a type and talk. Can't do both. Hope you had a good time hanging out while I got some work done. That is more or less the end of the clips videos for this month. Yeah. Next time we'll probably goof around with some editing stuff, and then we'll see what else we end up doing that day. But until then, have fun over with Muna and her community, and I hope to see you all again another time. Bye-bye.